everyone. I thought I'd do something special today. I want to take you all with me through a what I eat in a day on a budget video. If you are new at this channel, we are a large family, so budget is really important when it comes to food. So I wanted to show you how I eat with lots of nutritious foods, no compromises, and it costs about $5 a day per person. I'm starting the morning off with my 10-cent cup of tea. So delicious, and I can't wait to make breakfast. Let's go. I'm getting started for my breakfast with an egg and veggie scramble. So I just have some peppers, onion, and mushrooms. This is one of my favorite breakfasts just because it keeps me full for a really long time and it's relatively inexpensive. I find that's probably about 50 cents worth of veggies when you're just kind of doing a little bit of each. Adds lots of fiber and health and deliciousness. So we get eggs from my nephew. He charges $3 a dozen for big, huge brown, blue, and white eggs. And so 2 eggs for me this morning, that equals about 25 cents an egg. So 50 cents worth of eggs. And I like to kind of scramble them up and add a wee bit of milk in with them just to make my eggs extra fluffy. And I do saute all the veggies in the pan in butter. Butter makes everything better. Been really working hard to try to use as much as I can stainless steel pans instead of Teflon and wooden utensils instead of plastic. I'm sure, just like all of you, I've been hearing a lot about how bad it is for our health to be using so many plastics in our cooking. So this is just a way that I'm trying to reduce that for myself and our family. And of course, you've got to have a bit of salt and pepper to season your eggs up. Some mornings I do garlic as well, just depends on how I'm feeling. And I add cheese as well. This is extra old black diamond cheese. It's $3.99 a bar. Very cheap and inexpensive for cheese and delicious. And then I like to add some berries as well to my breakfast. So we wash all of our berries and put them in glass mason jars in the fridge whenever we do our grocery shopping. It keeps them fresh longer. Also, then they're not, again, sitting in plastic containers. And this is about 75 cents worth of fruit that I'm having. You'll notice that I am not making toast. That's because I mostly am gluten-free. One of the ways to eat for cheap is, of course, just to drink water because it's free. But I did want to show you guys something that I've got recently that I'm really enjoying, and it is this water filter. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that. I just was excited about to share it with you. The brand name is RKE. I was actually looking for a water filter pitcher that wasn't plastic. Like, I have a Brita filter. But I was feeling a little bit weird about the fact that like a Brita filter is made of plastic. So here I'm going to the trouble of drinking from glass, of having stainless steel water bottles, but the water is sitting in plastic all the time. So I was kind of doing some research, and this brand came up, And I just got it on Amazon. You can get them in different sizes, but basically it's entirely made of glass and stainless steel. So, or most of it anyway. So this is all glass, stainless steel. The filter itself is stainless steel. And actually something that's really cool, if you can see inside, this is the filter. It's made of stainless steel. It just pops out like this. But you can unscrew it and refill it with the like the carbon stuff that filters the water yourself. So I just order refill granular stuff that I would put in here, and that makes it a lot more sustainable. Then you're not constantly throwing out plastic filters, and it's also like your water isn't going through a plastic filter, it's going through a stainless steel one. So I just felt really good about that for our family's health, and also just in terms of sustainability. It's not adding all of these plastic cartridges constantly to our landfills. So yeah, if you're interested, I highly recommend ARC. And if you were counting up all of my totals, this breakfast cost me $2.25. And I can't wait to enjoy my yummy cup of tea while I sit by a candle and just relax and take it all in before I start the day. Non-food related, but I just thought I'd take you with me for some of my morning chores today. So just making the bed here. A rule in our home is we all make our bed every day. I've been doing this since I was little. It's just a good way to start the day. It gets you started off on the right foot, and then if somebody pops by or company comes over, you're never shocked and surprised, and your rooms don't look a mess. Everything just looks neat and tidy, and I find it more relaxing to go to sleep at night if my room is all put together. We have this rule for the kids as well, so they all are expected to make their beds and clean their rooms before they leave for school. And you'll notice that some of them make their beds neater than others. Usually the girls do a better job of it than the boys. But I mean, we're not giving points for neatness. As long as it's made, that's great. And then I'm just gonna hang my laundry today. Any day that it is not raining, I am hanging laundry, unless it's the dead of winter and way too cold. And I've been kind of cycling through in our house this spring to wash all of our curtains. So every time I'm doing a load of laundry, I'm throwing a set of curtains in from somebody's bedroom or somewhere in the house. We have a lot of windows. And one little hint I have is that if you are hang drying colors or darks, always remember to hang them inside out so that they don't fade in the sun. A lot of people don't realize they shouldn't do this, and then they wreck their clothes. One exception is if you are hanging lights and whites, hang them the right way out, not inside out, and they will be bleached nice and white and beautifully. Little garden update. It is mid-May when I'm filming this, and we've just gotten our tulips starting to bloom. So that kind of tells you, you know, what us poor Canadians deal with for spring. I love spring, but it's so late, and I know a lot of you from around the world, your tulips were probably starting to come up in your daffodils in like March and April. So it is what it is, but now that spring is here, I'm just in love. I love the bird song in spring. Garden update, kind of hard to see, but our peas are just starting to pop out of the ground, and lettuce and onions as well. We planted probably 300 or 400 onions. That seems like so much, but trust me, when you're making salsa and pasta sauce and cooking with it all year long, that will run out by Christmas likely. And here you can see our garlic is off to a really good start. And I cannot wait for our first clipping of rhubarb to make some rhubarb pies up. let me know if you'd be interested. I think I might just do it anyway, but let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in me doing some cook with me's this summer that are garden to table. Our currant bushes are just loaded. Maybe I could share with you guys my recipe for currant juice and jellies, and our haskap berries here, that's like a northern berry, similar to blueberries, are full of blossoms. I've seen a lot of bees out here, so maybe I could share with you guys my recipe for lemon haskap muffins. It's a good one. I'm not sure if I've shared with you guys before, but haskap bushes and a lot of different berry and fruiting bushes and trees. There's a male, so this is the male bush, and there's a female. This is the female bush. The female will get more berries. They'll both get berries, but you need to have both types for cross-pollination. So you can see my bee here is actually going back and forth between the two bushes, between the blossoms, so that it's cross-pollinating, so that we'll get lots of berries. Isn't that so cool? Nature. On to lunch. One of my favorite lunch items is a grilled cheese sandwich, and you can use gluten-free bread like I do, or regular bread. It's adaptable to the whole family. And when I was growing up, comment below, how about you? Did you grow up using like fake cheese slices, like processed cheese slices for grilled cheese? I hate processed cheese. So I'm using like an old sharp orange cheddar for this grilled cheese sandwich. It tastes so much better. It melts well. Again, this is just like a black diamond cheese, and it works out to be about 50 cents worth of cheese on there and some butter. And a lot of people would bake them in the oven, especially if you have like a whole bunch of grilled cheese you're making. But I find if I'm just having one sandwich, I'm definitely going to grill it on the stove top, and it makes it a little more moist and crispy, golden and delicious. Okay, let me know, are you team diagonal cut or straight across cut for sandwiches? I am team diagonal cut. I just think it looks nicer. Look at that ooey gooey cheese. And I love my grilled cheese with lots of ketchup, and I'm gonna have an apple on the side and enjoy another big glass of water and the beautiful outdoors while I'm eating lunch. Today, the picnic table is always a fun spot to enjoy my lunch and just have a break out in nature. I'm going to be making a homemade beef stew for supper, and the prep time actually begins like right after lunch for this because I'm making my own broth. So in this pot here I have soup bones. So if you order beef by the cow, so a half cow, quarter cow, a whole, you will get soup bones with it, which are really inexpensive cut, but they make amazing broth. All of the good stuff that's in the bones and everything, all the marrow is going to be really healthy for your family. So basically you just want to cover the bones. So I've got about 3 pounds of beef here. I've got like over 8 cups of water. I'll probably add a little bit more. And then you're gonna cover and simmer this for several hours. And it'll cook both the meat that's on the bone and it'll make a broth. And then I'll show you what I'll do with this later this afternoon. I thought you guys might want to look at our garden starts for this year. Because we're in Ontario where it's so cold, a lot of things have to be started from seed indoors instead of in your garden, or they will never grow big enough in time for harvest. So we started these about 6 weeks ago. So we've got tomato plants, Roma, beefsteak, heritage varieties. We've got peppers, hot peppers, sweet peppers. So basically just for a couple dollars worth of seeds, we're getting a ton of plants. So it's a lot cheaper than buying the plants at the greenhouses. I've also got some seed potatoes there that we will be hardening off soon so that they can go in the ground. And then over here we have some more, just some cabbage starts here. We've never done cabbage in the garden before. I'm really excited about it. And then also, nothing's germinating here yet, but this is cucumber, zucchini, pumpkin, squash, and they only need to be planted about 2 or 3 weeks before you want to put them out in your garden. So they've just been planted now. And you don't need, like, we just put everything on a table by a window. You don't need a special grow lamp or anything like that. If you have a window and some sunshine and a table, you can do this yourself. And it's really fun, saves lots of money, and I can't wait to put the plants in the ground in a couple weeks. Here are those soup beef bones simmering away. So now we're gonna just turn that way down for several hours this afternoon. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I've had a lot of health struggles this winter. And so I still find I'm very tired every day. So I haven't done much today. I've done some laundry, making beds, a bit of cooking, and already I'm barely able to stay awake. So we have an awesome hammock in our backyard, and I'm gonna just sit, read a book, fall asleep, and have a nap. And I often nap every day now until the kids get home from school. It's just helping me to recover from what happened to my heart and my lungs. And now it's time to take that laundry off. I always fold it straight off the line. Instead of just putting it in a basket, I fold it all neatly so that when I get into the house, it's really easy to put away. Okay, so our soup bones are all done. You can see they've been cooking for several hours here, and the meat is basically falling off the bones. So what I do is just chop all of the meat off of the bones and separate them, and I strain the broth, and then I add the meat back into the broth for this soup that I'm making. There's perhaps nothing better than the sound of frying onions. So I fried up an entire onion here that I'm going to be adding to our soup for some extra flavor. The soup bones for this cost about $12. That's the most expensive part. And here I have a soup mix, and basically has barley and dehydrated vegetables. And this is about 50 cents worth of this bag. And then we can our own tomatoes, which is about 25 cents worth of tomatoes in here because we use so many of our own. It's really cheap to do. And our onion and garlic that I used, I did fry up some garlic with that onion, about 25 cents because we buy onions by the big bag. And then I'm just gonna season here with some salt, a lot of salt actually to give it some good taste, some pepper. And then you're going to simmer that again for kind of at least an hour. You really want the flavors to meld together. So the peaches we use, so our dessert tonight is peaches, canned peaches. I will link below an entire playlist that has all my canning recipes, the tomatoes you saw earlier, as well as the peaches. And the secret here is that we can what's called seconds. So you can order them. We order them from local Mennonites, and it's fruit that wouldn't go to the grocery store. It's the wrong size or whatever, and you just order in seconds, and it's about half the price as first run that you would find at the grocery store. So this whole jar works out to be about $1 worth of fruit, and it will feed our entire family. So yeah, this entire pot of soup, and I'm going to be adding some crackers as well. This whole meal came to $15.50, and it fed 7 of us for supper. So if you're calculating, that is $2.20 for this dinner per person. There's just something really comforting about homemade soup on a cool day. We make this all winter, and the kids just love it, and it keeps them full for a really long time. And I feel good about the health benefits of using bone broth. Okay, so if you were paying attention to how the numbers add up, I'm gonna put them on the side of the screen as well. You'll see that my entire day's worth of food was in the kind of $5 to $6 range. And that would be same for everybody else in my family. We largely eat very similar foods throughout the day. Sometimes it costs a bit less, sometimes a little bit more. So if we extrapolate that out over the course of a week, 7 days, if you are doing your meals for about $5 or $6 a day, you know, that's somewhere between kind of like 35 and 45 bucks a week. That is not very much on food. So if you're watching and you are, maybe you're single, you live alone, or there's just 2 of you, you can see that it can be done very cheaply. You could literally get your groceries for the week and only spend under 50 bucks. And a lot of people tell me, well, the reason you're able to do it so cheaply is because you buy in bulk and you're cooking for a crowd. That is true, but if there's only one of you at home or only a couple of you at home, you can cook the exact same way and just freeze your leftovers, you know, do a big batch of soup and freeze them in portions. Everything else, you know, apples, whatever you're buying, you don't have to buy just one at a time. You can buy in bulk, carrots, onions, and same with your baking ingredients. So I do think it's not just possible for big families. I think it's possible for anybody. And in fact, I specifically remember when my husband and I first got married, that was over 20 years ago, but our grocery budget for the 2 of us was $50 a week. So we spent about $25 each on food a week. Of course, you can eat out sometimes. Of course, there's times where you're gonna splurge, but I just wanted to show how this is possible and you're not really compromising. These are yummy meals. It's not like you're eating rice and beans all day, every day, or stuff that doesn't taste very good. It's nutritious food, it's yummy food, and yeah, I was excited to share it with you all because I do believe this way of living is possible and it's sustainable long-term. Well, that's our day. Thank you so much for spending it with me. I'm curious if you have other tips on how you can eat on a budget in a day, please pop them in the comments below. I know a lot of viewers here would benefit from reading for it, and I think of this channel kind of as a community. It's not all about me, it's about us. So please definitely contribute in the comments some of your ideas or something you're gonna try in the future. And I will also pop below some videos that I've already made about budgeting and meal planning, that type of thing, in case you're interested. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all of those things, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. For the least, this is Jen.